His lead in the championship. After the controversy in Canada and North America, we're back to mainland Europe. It's round 8, the French Grand Prix at the Castellet Paul Ricard. As I said, it is round number 8 of this already incredible 2019 season, which has seen Mercedes dominate every single race so far. But next weekend is our first back-to-back in the years. We get the Austrian Grand Prix, then it's the British Grand Prix, Germany and Hungary, the summer break, then Belgium, Italy, the flyaways, Singapore, Russia, Japan, the Americas with Mexico, USA and Brazil, and all rounding out on December the 1st in Abu Dhabi. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Lewis Hamilton sauntering away with 3 victories on the bounce and 5 in 2019. He has a 29-point advantage to Valtteri Bottas in second, and Sebastian Vettel, with that penalty last time out in Canada, means he's now ahead of Max Verstappen, but just on 100 points. He's 62 behind Lewis Hamilton. Yet to score, Giovinazzi, Russell and Kubica. And all that means for Rocket Williams Racing is that they have nil points coming into France. The battle for the midfield is close between Racing Point, Toro Rosso and Haas, along with Alfa joining the battle, but Mercedes lead the way at nearly 300 points. Hello everybody and welcome to the Grand Review podcast for the 2019 French Grand Prix, round 8 of the 2019 season. And it has been very, very controversial few weeks of Formula One, especially after the Canadian Grand Prix, where Sebastian Vettel received a 5-second time penalty for apparently rejoining the track in a dangerous manner. Well, coming into this weekend in the French Grand Prix, it was all go as Ferrari were appealing that decision and wanted a right for review. This is what happened, live reaction on Thursday and Friday. It has been a talking point for nearly 2 weeks since the end of the Canadian Grand Prix, that controversial 5-second time penalty that the FIA stewards awarded to Sebastian Vettel for what they said was dangerous driving, rejoining the track in a dangerous manner and nearly causing a collision. He received a 5-second time penalty and 2 penalty points on his licence for it. It has divided the F1 community in half. People saying that he deserved it, people saying he doesn't deserve it. Every racing driver saying that I've seen saying that he doesn't deserve the penalty, but Nico Rosberg. But it seems to be a bit of an interesting one. So this is the final decision. To catch you up, what has happened is that on Sunday night at the Grand Prix in Canada, the Ferrari team submitted an intent to appeal to the FIA stewards, which meant they had 96 hours to gather evidence in order to present a case. On Wednesday, the following week, the FIA got notice that Ferrari had withdrawn that intent to appeal. And then what happened? We thought, it's all done and dusted. But coming into this weekend's French Grand Prix, the stewards had received another letter from Ferrari with their intent for a right to review, which meant that the FIA stewards from Canada had to gather again here in France and review the circumstances with new evidence provided by Ferrari to see if they can trigger a change of decision. I'm failing to see any difference because the official announcement that came through 5 minutes ago, the FIA reject Ferrari's request to have Vettel's Canadian penalty reviewed. So that 5 seconds stands, and Lewis Hamilton is the official winner of the Canadian Grand Prix with Sebastian Vettel second and Charles Leclerc third. So that is how it stands. End of. But this is what Ferrari, they presented several evidence. This is the list of evidence that was provided, and we've bullet pointed for you. So Ferrari presented several pieces of evidence to the FIA stewards on Friday afternoon. The first, which was an analysis of telemetry data of car 5, that's Vettel's car, including the car attitude channels. They also included a video analysis of the camera views, the front view, the top view, and the onboard cameras of both car 5, Sebastian Vettel, and car 44, Lewis Hamilton. That was prepared after the race. They also, bizarrely, included a video analysis performed by Karun Chanok for Sky Sports after the race when Karun was at the Skypad. They also provided a video of Vettel's Car 5's face camera, which was released by the F1 Limited after the race. They included post-race and video images, analysis of the GPS racing line data of both car 44 Lewis Hamilton and car 5 Sebastian Vettel in the situation lap and in the previous race laps. And also they provided a witness statement, that of Sebastian Vettel. Moving on, the stewards said pieces of evidence 1, 2, 4, 6 and 7 were in fact available before the end of competition, so the end of the race. They said the third piece of evidence was new but not significant and relevant, as this is a personal opinion by a third party, that being Karun Chanok. And finally, the fourth piece of evidence was new. As a result, the Canadian Grand Prix results remain the same. Hamilton is the victor ahead of Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel. So no penalty for Ferrari as well that they could appeal. It stood from the Canadian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton was the victor after that as well. Moving on then to this weekend, the first practice session of the French Grand Prix at the circuit Paul Ricard. And trust me, it's a circuit which hurts your eyes after a while. But let's see how the drivers found out in FP1 News report. Right, so let's get into the first practice review then of the French Grand Prix. And as the paddock was waiting on the news of Sebastian Vettel for a meeting at 1:15 UK time, 2:15 of course in France, first practice took place in the morning. And it was Lewis Hamilton who was fastest overall at 1:32.738. Having missed the Thursday media duties as he was called away to Paris, the championship leader took no time getting up to speed as at the track he won at last year. He went top. Behind was Valtteri Bottas in second, so a Mercedes 1-2, and Charles Leclerc put in the third fastest time. Behind the top three, Red Bull's Max Verstappen was fourth, just 8 tenths drift of Hamilton. The newly married Sebastian Vettel was fifth as well. Congratulations to both Sebastian and his longtime partner Hannah. Of course, they've got 2 daughters as well, but it took a long time, didn't it, for them to get married, and they kept it very secret as well. So congratulations to Sebastian and Hannah on a happy marriage that took place, we understand, last weekend when we were all concentrating on Le Mans. So very sneaky for him to do so. But yes, Sebastian Vettel was fifth, a second off the pace of Lewis Hamilton as well, as he complained of poor feeling on the front of his Ferrari SF90. The team been experimenting this weekend with some new front wing updates that bring minor changes here this weekend. Pierre Gasly was sixth, but nearly half a second off of teammate Verstappen's time, along with both Red Bull drivers suffering spins during the session, along with Toro Rosso's Danny Kvyat as well, while it was a promising morning for McLaren. Lando Norris, just a few hundreds off Gasly in P7 is impressive for them, and Carlos Sainz close behind in 8th as well. It's a great job for McLaren, it seems, at the moment. Floor issues were the main theme of Friday for Renault at their home Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo was running a new internal combustion engine as the team's home race. Nico Hülkenberg having to deal with smoke coming from the cockpit. It's quite interesting because if you imagine that's the dash, the smoke was coming from it as well. So the official explanation was that the plank at the floor caught fire, but how that plank managed to caught fire at 320 miles per kph, 200 miles an hour, the smoke managed to go from under the car, through the nose cone, through the cockpit, and into the driver's face. Bit suspect, if you ask me. I thought it was the fire extinguisher when I first saw it. He did get it back out on track as well, but regardless of the time, good enough to finish in the session P9. Alexander Albon rounded out the top 10. On an unhappy FP1 for Romain Grosjean, who only managed 9 laps. He had a water leak, was found on his Haas VF-19. He ended at 20th behind the two Williamses of Nicholas Latifi, who is on his second FP1 run of the season for Williams. And this time he plays with George Russell, not Robert Kubica. And Robert Kubica finished in 20th overall. Right, then let's have a look at the times for FP1 then, here at the French Grand Prix. So Lewis Hamilton ends the first practice session fastest on a 1:32.738, followed by Valtteri Bottas second on 1:32.807, Charles Leclerc third at 1:33.111, Max Verstappen fourth at 1:33.618, Sebastian Vettel fifth on a 1:33.790, Pierre Gasly sixth on 1:34.091, Lando Norris 7th at 1:34.110, Carlos Sainz 8th at 1:34.261, Daniel Ricciardo 9th at 1:34.540, and Alexander Albon rounding out the top 10 on a 1:34.804. Sergio Perez 11th on a 1:34.809, Nico Hülkenberg 12th at 1:34.810, Lance Stroll 13th at 1:35.063, Danny Kvyat 14th on a 1:35.326, Kevin Magnussen 15th at 1:35.410, Kimi Raikkonen 16th at 1:35.522, Antonio Giovinazzi 17th at 1:36.102, Nicholas Latifi 18th at 1:37.147, Robert Kubica 19th at 1:37.172, and completing just 9 laps with a water leak issue, Romain Grosjean in 20th on a 1:37.620. So Hamilton fastest with Bottas, a good start to the weekend for Mercedes in practice 1, but by the time practice 2 came around, it was a little bit more interesting. The Mercedes was still top, but Ferrari and McLaren was fighting back. Here's what happened on Friday afternoon in the race runs of free practice 2. So let's get straight into the free practice 2 report, and it was Mercedes picking up where they left off in the first practice session as well. An impressive display in FP2 to go not only 4 tenths quicker of their own car, they were a total 6 tenths quicker than the Ferraris. Absolutely fantastic. Valtteri Bottas was fastest at 1:30.937. Lewis Hamilton went second fastest on a 4 tenths off the pace. Charles Leclerc again third for the team. So the same top 3 in both sessions to reversed. Sebastian Vettel went fourth and Lando Norris went into 5th place as well. Not bad overall, but Lewis Hamilton had a bit of a messy section in turns 3 and 4, so the downhill section of the course where you drop down from 7th gear to 4th gear, then turn the car quickly to the left and drop down to 3rd gear. He had a little bit of a spin, went off the track, cut back on and caught out Max Verstappen, and the stewards are investigating that, believe it or not, for an unsafe re-entry to the track. Oh, how 2 weeks ago, and oh, Canada. Moving on as well, Ferrari continued to carry out evaluations on both of their new parts this weekend, the new front wing end plates as well. Charles Leclerc, the closest to Mercedes, he was 6 tenths off, as I said, 6.5 actually, if you want to be precise about it, which was almost double the deficit from FP1 this morning. Vettel didn't have a comfortable car yet again, sliding around, using the runoff of the tracks as well, 10th off of Charles Leclerc's time, but he was running 15th and 10th quite a lot of the session. The gap between the two teams was slightly bigger during the initial runs. On the medium tyres, Mercedes comfortably quicker as well. Behind the top 2 teams, Lando Norris, who was one of the last drivers to complete his low fuel run, the McLaren driver, slotted into 5th place, 9 tenths off the pace though, but great job from McLaren in 5th place. It proves that they've got a strong car here this weekend. 2 tenths off the second, quicker than Verstappen's Red Bull. With the updated power unit, unbelievable. Carlos Sainz made it to McLaren to the top 7 ahead of Pierre Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen and Kevin Magnussen round out the top 10. Frustrating session for Kevin Magnussen in the Haas car as well as frustrating session, for Romain Grosjean as well. Several lockups and complaining about the feel of his car throughout the session. He ended up down in P17. Everyone complaining, more specifically though, about the tyres this weekend and how it seems to be that in the extreme heat conditions, we had 50-degree track temperature this weekend as well. The tyres are breaking up, especially on the soft compound tyres, so it is interesting to see if that's going to play a factor tomorrow in qualifying. But coming into this weekend, it looks like my prediction for qualifying at this early stage could be Valtteri Bottas on pole position, but we'll see. Hamilton always pulls something out of the bag in Q3, but the race pace, it seems to favour that it could either be Mercedes or Charles Leclerc. Not Sebastian Vettel. He's been off underperforming a lot this weekend, so maybe this is the weekend of Charles Leclerc if Ferrari can get it right. Right, let's take a look then at the times from free practice 2. So Valtteri Bottas tops the second practice session with a 1:39.37. Lewis Hamilton is second on a 1:31.361. Charles Leclerc third, a 1:31.586. Sebastian Vettel fourth, a 1:31.665. Lando Norris fifth, a 1:31.882. Max Verstappen is in sixth, a 1:32.049. Carlos Sainz is seventh on a 1:32.432. Pierre Gasly eighth, a 1:32.448. Kimi Räikkönen ninth, a 1:32.677. And Kevin Magnussen running on the top 10, a 1:32.789. Antonio Giovinazzi is 11th at 1:32.973. Danny Ricciardo 12th at 1:33.020. Alexander Albon 13th at 1:33.023. Nico Hülkenberg 14th at 1:33.081. Danny Kvyat 15th at 1:33.254. Sergio Perez 16th at 1:33.3. Romain Grosjean 17th at 1:33.591, followed by Lance Stroll 18th at 1:33.884, George Russell 19th at 1:34.614, and Robert Kubica 20th at 1:35.195. So Mercedes still topping at 1-2. Charles Leclerc once again third in a session. He repeats that throughout the weekend. There's a little bit of a look ahead for you. But free practice on Saturday morning. Will the Mercedes swap around so it's Hamilton or Bottas, and will Vettel finally get ahead of Leclerc? And where the pace we saw from the two McLarens actually reliable? Let's take a look at the third practice report now. So let's dive straight into the free practice 3 report then and see what happened. Well, the Mercedes retaining their grip on the weekend here in France as well, topping the timesheets in FP1, FP2 and now in FP3 as well. But it was Valtteri Bottas who headed Lewis Hamilton. Bottas a 1:31.59. Hamilton just 0.041 seconds off the pace as well. Charles Leclerc was third as well, so he's been third in every single session so far this weekend for Ferrari. Vettel was fourth and Verstappen in fifth place as well. After the first run to the soft tyres, it was just Bottas who led the way by a quarter of a second to Hamilton. Leclerc just 0.010, so 1/100th off further back in third. What was clear from the runs on the soft compound tyres, the drivers were able to push for 2 laps out of the soft rubber compared to the 1 lap that we saw yesterday with the softer compound tyre of rubber. If we move down, Mercedes stretched their legs in the second runs as well. The track improving a lot. A low minute 1:30 was the time for Bottas, but a mistake on his second push lap cost him the chance of improving that lap time overall. Again, Hamilton ran off the track in his first run, but got it together in the second run as well, and very close to matching his teammate. The reason you've got to be hopeful for the Ferrari duo of Leclerc and Vettel is the fact that they couldn't split them, but Vettel changed his seat mid-session as well, so the lining of the seat has been changed as well, and it seems to have done the job. He's been much faster as well. They didn't have the pace of the other two in Sector 2 of the Mercedes, did Ferrari, but Vettel catching traffic late on, it didn't help either way. Ferrari and Mercedes battling the top. Verstappen was best of the rest in fifth, 1.379 off the pace. 10th clear of teammate Pierre Gasly in home race, but they couldn't be in a battle with McLaren as well. Lando Norris just 0.055 off the pace in seventh. Danny Ricciardo in a B-spec engine as well, 8th on home soil for Renault, and Carlos Sainz and Kimi Räikkönen 9th and 10th. Bit of an interesting session as well. Let's see the times overall for FP3. So Valtteri Bottas tops the third practice session with a 1:30.159. Lewis Hamilton second at 1:30.2. Charles Leclerc third at 1:36.05, followed by Sebastian Vettel fourth at 1:36.33. Max Verstappen is fifth on a 1:31.538. Pierre Gasly 6th at 1:31.599. Lando Norris is 7th at 1:31.654. Daniel Ricciardo 8th at 1:31.802. Carlos Sainz 9th at 1:31.887. Kimi Raikkonen 10th at 1:31.943. Nico Hülkenberg 11th at 1:32.023. Antonio Giovinazzi is 12th on a 1:32.171. Alexander Albon 13th on a 1:32.178. Romain Grosjean 14th at 1:32.385. Kevin Magnussen 15th at 1:32.4. Sergio Perez is 16th at 1:32.491. Danny Kvyat 17th at 1:32.540. Lance Stroll 18th at 1:32.678. 19th for Robert Kubica at 1:33.902. And George Russell 20th at 1:39.987. And he completed 4 laps at absolutely fantastic from Bottas and Hamilton. 1-2 once again from Mercedes Leclerc. Third session running, finished in third place as well. But let's take a look at what happened now in the all-important qualifying. You know how it is, 3 sessions, 18 minutes of qualifying 1 with all 20 drivers. Q2, 15 minutes with a total of 15 drivers, and qualifying 3, 12 minutes with 10 drivers for the top 10 shootout, all deciding the all-important grid. Here's what happened in a crazy qualifying for the French Grand Prix. So let's take a look then at what happened in qualifying on Saturday for the French Grand Prix of 2019, and we'll start as ever with qualifying 1, which saw Grosjean knocked out as the track evolution created late drama in the session. Drivers, however, didn't waste time getting out on track early on in the session. Qualifying started with 18 minutes segment qualifying 1, with all 20 cars going out, and the end released the slowest 5 drivers. The biggest surprise was Romain Grosjean to be eliminated from qualifying. He struggled all weekend in front of his home crowd. He made a mistake at turn 8 and 9, which meant he had to back out of his lap, having set a personal best in the first sector. It was a big price to pay as well to be eliminated from the qualifying session. Moving further back down the grid, he was joined early on by Danny Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. In the closing minutes, he decided to come into the garage as well and just end it there. It was no real loss though, as he was set to start from the back of the grid anyway, due to a new set of penalties coming into this weekend. Moving on, we see Racing Point's Sergio Perez popped into 6th at the last second of qualifying. However, his teammate Lance Stroll, as usual, was eliminated from qualifying. He is now 12 qualifying 1s in a row he's been eliminated from. Absolutely unbelievable. The 2 Williamses, George Russell and Robert Kubica, set the back of the grid. Verstappen was just scraped through in qualifying 1 with 13th place. So, knocked out in the session were Kvyat, Grosjean, Stroll, Russell and Kubica. Moving on to qualifying 2, and Hülkenberg failed to make the cut in front of Renault's home crowd. A disastrous race for them. Saw the fact that as temperatures continued to soar at Paul Ricard, it was the Pirelli tyres on the mediums that just weren't working. They were faster on the 3 compounds, but they still weren't getting the grip. The top teams had an eye on getting through on the medium tyre anyway to start the race with, as we know. What we said in free practice 2 was that the soft compound tyre just doesn't work as a race tyre for as long. So, everyone qualified on the medium tyre. McLaren's impressed with Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz 5th and 7th respectively. Ricciardo made his way through all 3 on the mediums as well. A little spin for Hülkenberg at 8-9 sequence and ended up 13th and eliminated. Albon missed out by just 0.02 of a second from Pierre Gasly as well, as Kimi Raikkonen, Sergio Perez and Kevin Magnussen, the others to face the boot. We lost Albon, Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, Perez and Magnussen from qualifying 2. And we'll move on to qualifying 3 then, which saw Vettel fail to deliver as Lewis Hamilton takes yet another pole position in Formula 1. Hamilton laying down a brilliant marker with his first effort, a 10th of a second faster than Valtteri Bottas, and Charles Leclerc more than half a second back as well. On the second run, Bottas, the man with the most pole positions in 2019 heading into this race with 4, made a mistake early on, easing the pressure on Hamilton, but the Brit was behind on track as well. He improved his second sector time, but couldn't improve the overall time. Apologies if the wind is knocking the camera. It really is actually quite strong where we are here. And if you can hear it with the microphone as well, we apologise. So, the Briton of Lewis Hamilton put it on top, a 10th over a second improved overall. Leclerc needed Leclerc wanted a toe from Sebastian Vettel, but Vettel wasn't going fast enough, so Leclerc was a bit compromised, but Leclerc never really looked likely to challenge the Mercedes anyway, but secured third place. He's been third all weekend across every session, so it's remarkably consistent from him. Teammate Vettel couldn't match him, ended up 7th as well. The story of the day there was McLaren securing their best qualifying result since Jensen Button's 2nd place at the wet-dry 2016 Austrian Grand Prix qualifying. Lando Norris, as I said, was 6th best time, his career best as well. 9,000 slower than the Red Bull of Max Verstappen though in 5th. Sainz slotted into 7th. Ricciardo, running the Renault B-Spec engine, was 8th. Gasly 9th, and Giovinazzi outqualified his teammate in 10th place as well. It looks to be a very interesting one for this race. Let's take a look at the grid for the French Grand Prix. So Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position with his teammate Valtteri Bottas alongside. Mercedes with a record-breaking 63rd front row start lockout. Row 2, Charles Leclerc starts 3rd. He's been 3rd all weekend in every session, and he's alongside Max Verstappen. Row 3, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, McLaren's best qualifying since 2016 in Austria. Row 4, Sebastian Vettel, one of his worst qualifyings of the year, alongside Daniel Ricciardo. And Row 5 sees Pierre Gasly and Antonio Giovinazzi. Row 6 sees Alexander Albon and Kimi Raikkonen. Row 7, Nico Hülkenberg and Sergio Perez. Row 8, Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean. Row 9, Lance Stroll and Robbie Kubica. And on Row 10, both penalties for Danny Kvyat and George Russell for additional power unit elements used. So they start at the back of the grid. Hamilton on pole position with Valtteri Bottas in 2nd and Charles Leclerc 3rd. It's been an interesting weekend, but it all comes down to this. The French Grand Prix, round 8 of the 2019 season. Your commentators Joshua Birch and Ian Birch.
The French Grand Prix, race 8, lap 1.
The green flag is at the back, the red lights are coming on. Mercedes have won every race this year. Are they going to do it here again? Action in a Castellet. Good start for the two Mercedes. Look at Lando Norris. He got a great start. He's pulling out to Leclerc. And the two McLarens are going to leapfrog. They're going to be 3rd and 4th. Lando backs out. Sainz holds it through as Hamilton leads the way. And a great start from the two McLarens. And off the track goes Danny Kvyat as well. Carlos Sainz is now back with the two McLarens as well. Vettel's got ahead of the start. He's ahead already of Pierre Gasly. Off the track goes one of the Force Indians. It's further back, so I believe that was Sergio Perez. But a great start from Hamilton and from Bottas, and a great getaway from the two McLarens. They absolutely launched it down to turn 1. Head down the Mistral straight towards the chicane at turn 8 and 9. Hamilton's got the advantage, and look at this, right round the outside. Carlos Sainz trying on Max Verstappen, not paying off this time. Replaying the race start then. Great getaway from Hamilton. Poor launch from Leclerc. Great start from the two McLarens. Look, they're side by side with the Red Bull. Norris backs out of it. Look at Pierre Gasly and Vettel. They're having a bit of a ding-dong into turn 1. Vettel holds his own round the outside. Leclerc and Verstappen are side by side all the way down to turn 4. Leclerc at the inside line and gets ahead. Hamilton already leading the way at this point. Jump on board with Max Verstappen. He's going to have a mirror full currently of the Ferrari, then a mirror full of the two McLarens. Lando backs out of it, and it's a great getaway from the start there. As we look, Verstappen on board.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that replay there of the start, and it's what I thought when I saw it. Right, we all know that Bottas anticipates when the lights then. The short light sequence, he got caught out, and that's why Lewis got a little bit of a break from him. Because Lewis reacts to the lights and not. And you clearly saw Lewis got a good half a car length before Valtteri moved.
Yeah, it was indeed a very quick lights out. I hadn't even finished saying my sentence before the lights went out, so it caught me by surprise. everyone got caught out by that, and I think that's why we had a crazy start. Everyone was sort of launching away. Ricciardo, remember, Tetson on the grid. Ricciardo had the problem with the gravel. As we see, Sebastian Vettel has got past Lando Norris coming into the Mistral chicane. But can Norris fight back? Coming through the sign corner, possibly inside, but Vettel chops him off, and Leclerc thinks better of it. That was the F2 line from Norris, but great job either way. But yeah, Ricciardo was definitely held up at the start.
Lap 6.
And this is George Russell on board, and this is on his own teammate, Robbie Kubica, down the Mistral straight, second half, flat out into the, right round the outside, it's turn 11, and Kubica forcing him off, and the two teammates having a little bit of a ding-dong, and that's Russell taking out one of the brake boards for the next corner of Le Bousset.
Lap 10.
5-second time penalty for Sergio Perez for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. So the stewards have dealt with it quite quickly, and a time penalty for Perez.
Yes, but as we saw that it was a 10-second penalty in the last race for virtually two offences. He actually did gain an advantage, and that's why he's got a 5-second penalty. But instead of a 10-second penalty, right, because he did actually go round the bollard, so he only gets 5 seconds, not 10.
Yeah, here
it was
is.
a replay of it. He clearly goes round the bollard, which is what they said, but he then clearly comes back on the track, and he comes back on the track in a better way than Vettel did last time, but he does actually come in front of the other two.
Lap 28.
I think they think Leclerc can go for Bottas on a scrub set. They wanted to close the gap to Bottas, right? Which by the look of it, they are doing, right? Because if they can split the Ferraris, then they can control
for position?
At least one of the Mercedes race.
Hang on a second, Ricciardo and Grosjean's off the track. That's for position. Grosjean off the track and comes out side by side. Ricciardo will get that position back because Grosjean left the track, gained the advantage, and backs out of that one. Over to you. Back to you.
Yeah, it just sounds like they wanted sticky tyres for Leclerc so he could go for Bottas.
Yeah.
Right, and he has narrowed the gap to Bottas slightly, whereas Vettel, as you said, he needs to wear those tyres in and get them to temperature.
Lap 45.
But meanwhile, the two Toro Rossos are going to have a bit of a battle. This could be the safety car we're looking for, because these two are known to be a bit feisty. Well, especially Danny Kvyat is going to push the outside, coming into the Seaton corner. He's going to go right round the outside. They're going to touch, surely. They're side by side. They give each other the racing room, but Albon still has the position coming into Le Bousset. Wow, that was close racing between the two teammates.
Lap 47.
Out goes Grosjean! Out goes Grosjean! A retirement on his home Grand Prix, and that just signs the death deal on what has been a terrible weekend for Haas and a terrible weekend for Romain Grosjean in his home race. He is out and is the only retirement here at the French Grand Prix.
Lap 50.
Bollard!
We have a bollard on the track.
Virtual safety car for sure then.
Or virtual safety car.
Now, which layout is that on?
Or another part of...
No, it's on the actual racetrack. It's on the actual racetrack. Yellow set. It's at turn 2. It's at turn 2, and that's going to cause at least a virtual safety car to get that out. And someone hits that.
Here we are, virtual safety car.
Yeah. That I thought that would be called. So the 100% record remains, and it's a virtual safety car called while they recover that bollard from the track. There you go. Look, they are inflated. So the marshal runs out, gets it, and comes back, and we can go green now. Look at that. How nice was that? A quick 10-second virtual safety car. It's coming in now as we see a replay, and it's Alexander Albon who collected that a few laps ago, as we spotted as well. So Albon with that just eventually gone back, and we're now back to green. We are back to green here. So a 10-second virtual safety car picks up the bollard, and we're back to green with 3 laps to go. How easy was that?
Lap 53.
Into the last corner from start to finish, his 5th first win of the year, his fourth in a row. Well done, Lewis Hamilton, victorious here at the Grand Prix of France, and now extends his lead in the championship. Now, is Bottas, look at Bottas going wide, Leclerc went for a dive bomb. Leclerc tried it, didn't he? It hasn't paid off. Bottas second and Mercedes 1-2, and Ferrari third with Charles Leclerc. Leclerc third all weekend in every single session, and Lewis Hamilton currently with the fastest level lap, a 1:32.764. But has Vettel got it?
Still on it.
Vettel's fastest sector 1, not a good sector 2. We're waiting for him to come across the line with Verstappen. But Lewis, here he is, into the last two corners. That's Ducat into La Pont, the last corners. Yellow sector 1, so that must be a donut. Track clear now. Has Vettel got the fastest lap? Verstappen 4th, Vettel 5th. Is it the fastest lap? Is it? No! Yes! Yes! 1:32.740. So fastest lap, and the new track record goes to Vettel. But Lewis Hamilton, for the 79th time in his career, victorious.
Post-race.
And that's what happened with Lando Norris. Look, Daniel Ricciardo pulls to the outside line and then makes a little bit of a mistake as well, coming into the chicane, runs off the track, comes back on. Round the outside went Norris. Norris took avoiding action, cut the corner, of course. Raikkonen steamed through, and it was Sainz 6th, Raikkonen 7th, Hülkenberg 8th, 9th. It was Raikkonen 8th. The timing screen has changed. It's Ricciardo 7th, Raikkonen 8th, Hülkenberg 9th, and Norris in 10th place. So the timing screen changed, and the driver of the day is Lando Norris, and very well deserved. But I reckon the stewards might be looking at that one, because that looked a bit messy to me. It looked like Ricciardo was dangerous driving. Fastest lap of the race, and 1 point to Sebastian Vettel.
Was it dangerous driving, or the fact that what you've got to answer, what they'll also take into account is Lando's problems.
Yes.
Was it dangerous driving, or just Lando taking an unusual line?
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. We'll have more, though, after this. But Lewis Hamilton, look, Dad, under investigation, Daniel Ricciardo, presumably for forcing another driver off the track. Turn 9 is Steve. Leave the track getting advantage. So yeah, he's under investigation. But that could be another one. But Lewis Hamilton, victorious for the 5th time this year and for the 79th time in his career. And Lewis Hamilton wins the French Grand Prix.
Next race, Austria.
So Lewis Hamilton wins the French Grand Prix, a 8th victory in a row for Mercedes, and Hamilton's 5th of the year. And considering that Megan isn't with us for the French Grand Prix, it's one of the 8 she's not doing this year, joining me once again, and this time with his own microphone, because we finally found the other mics. It's our pit lane reporter, my dad, and for everyone else, is Ian Burge. Hello, Dad, how are you today?
I'm fine. I watched Le Mans the other week. I've driven on Le Mans.
You have, haven't you? Because back in 19...
Yeah, because it's actually the real road.
Yeah, because
and it's a great feeling. We're driving on the actual circuit. And then the French Grand Prix, Paul Ricard, And, is that the closest on the present calendar? Because I know we had Germany and Austria was quite close, right? And Berger, who was actually born in Austria, his closest thing is Hockenheim, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Is it because Paul Ricard is only about 40, 50 minutes away from Monaco?
Yeah,
by car?
Yeah. It's quite silly how we went from Monaco to Canada and then back to the south of France for Paul Ricard.
Only the drivers and the cars did. It was one of those flyaway equipment days.
Yeah.
The B equipment is used.
And we'll see that B equipment because everything that's gone off from Canada has now gone off for the Grand Prix later down the line at Silverstone. So they're all a bit different.
Dun, 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 dun. Silverstone!
Which is live on Channel 4 and Sky F1 as well.
And Anglia.
Oh, yeah, because they always do their reports. I know it's something from the ITV days. Do you remember back in 2004?
Yeah, we used to tape Look East actually. Did the best. They used to base themselves at the circuit start the program from the entrance to the circuit and like that. The regional newses do well for the British Grand Prix. They really promote it.
It always. I feel like the British Grand Prix is not as highly promoted as it was when it was on ITV. Because when it was on ITV, you saw everything. Everything blew up. It was British Grand Prix week. Nowadays, Sky and Channel 4 don't really
Well, a
promote
few
it
years
much.
ago, you had the F1 in London,
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. We had that a few years
and
ago.
there's now talk by the mayor of London of a London Grand Prix. But
No, they've been saying that for
leave
years.
that to Formula E.
Yeah, they've got 2 next year.
Formula E.
Which was on this weekend as well in Bern, and that got red flagged.
Yeah, but what a beautiful city.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, Bern.
Yeah,
is
and
brilliant.
quite a few
Yeah.
quite a few other outlets got it wrong. Bern isn't the capital of Switzerland. It's the federal capital of Switzerland.
'Cause Switzerland doesn't
Switzerland
have a
doesn't
capital.
have a capital. It's the only
Yeah,
country in the world that doesn't have a capital.
and it's got the Glacier River as well.
Oh,
That is lovely.
Yeah. Well, we were
had
saying
45 minutes before.
that some of that water was last water about 500,000 years ago.
Yeah. So it's amazing the scientific research that they actually do in Switzerland. with
So I
all
won't
the
drink it.
waters. Yeah. No. How can there's a football match going on at the moment? Is it 2-0 to England or are they? Yes, it is. 2-0
It is
to England.
2-0 to England.
Yeah. How can you tell that we're having to fill the usual
After
45
2 minutes and 39 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, 2 minutes. They had a very similar goal after 2 minutes. There's just a cutback and a tap in, right? But how many times do you see players put that tap in right over the crossbar? So it's a repeat.
You may as well talk us through. We've got 45 minutes to cover.
Yeah, Paris again breaking forward. Right, what a beautiful little slip through, and she can't miss as long as she doesn't raise her foot. Right, she's just got to connect. There she did, and that's it. If you try and do anything spectacular, it'll go over the top or round the side. Right, but again, Paris, who was just leading it into the corner, trying to waste time until half time. So we went in 1-0 at half time. The women are doing well.
Yeah. I've actually interviewed the old captain of the women's football team.
Yeah, well, a lot of the
Casey
women.
Stoney.
Yes, very well known player. But the Lincoln, Nottingham, Leeds have a women's team, and so do Grimsby Town now.
Yeah, that was in a few
We
years
haven't
ago.
had we haven't had Grimsby Town women's team for about 6 years. So it's good that that's back on the go. Anyway, back to Formula One.
Yeah, can you tell we're having
I'm not
to
going to
cover?
explain about. I'm not going to explain about Seb's black eye because he's not supposed to have one, but everybody knows he's got one.
Yeah, that's in there, the Austrian group. But
And it certainly looks like he's got one.
I haven't seen it yet, but can you tell?
Possibly, what happened is, a lot of people don't know. Seb loves his old motorbikes, and the thing about old motorbikes is that the bolts and the nuts are on really tight, and no matter even if you spray things, right, there are occasions when things will and that's what I think he's done. I think he's been because when he gets frustrated, he goes in the garage and plays with his motorbikes. Right, he's doing a scooter at the moment.
Is he? Oh, I know he's
but he's not a mod.
No.
He's not a mod, even though he's got the haircut.
I haven't seen his new haircut. I have heard he's got a new haircut this weekend because quite a lot of them have. It's quite weird. It's a back-to-back race, but they've gone for a different haircut already.
Yeah, Seb's. I think Karun summed it up perfectly that he is disillusioned with Formula One, but not with racing.
Yeah, we haven't got your view. I just remembered actually, so thank you for reminding me. Vettel and Canada, because we discussed it in the commentary, the Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But then we got the penalty this weekend.
As I said,
was
then
denied,
the letter of the law, and we're watching a football match, right?
Yeah, we were discussing VAR during the commentary.
Right, and VAR is wrong, right? But it is the rule at the moment, and so it affected the England men's team. It affected the England, and really affected Cameroon. They went there. They really lost control over VAR. VAR is going to. This is my point, and it's a point held by Paul de Resta as well, and other people, right? Yeah. Damon, right? And definitely Sebastian. and Lewis has hinted at it as well, that the present rules are killing Formula One.
Yes. Yeah.
In today's press conference for the
Austrian
Grand Prix, young Verstappen really made his feelings known that the rules are overkill now, and right, and another driver has said, why do we go with a rule book which is this thick when our parents used to race with a rule book this thick? Not naming that driver.
No, but
But if you can think of who had a driver that's parents, it's Erwin Magnussen.
There we go. Well, I remember because do you remember
Kevin's dad, who still races, right?
He's at Le Mans, yeah.
Right, Kevin's dad. If you think Kevin's a bit, I don't care, and I'm going to make this move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that leads us on to Ricardo.
Ricardo's penalty. Yeah, nicely
Both
done.
of them.
Yeah, back in the
Why
French
is the
Grand
two
Prix.
penalties for one movement?
Because one of them was leaving the track and gaining an advantage, and the second was willfully leaving the track and gaining a lasting advantage.
Well, this is the thing.
And rejoining the track in a dangerous manner.
This is the thing about it. This is the thing, right? Right. If you're riding your bike, down a seaside prom, and the tide's up, and there's no barrier. And there's a nice little strip of sand in between you and the tide.
Yeah.
Right. You're not gonna even attempt to go there.
Yeah.
Right. If that sand had been replaced by a bit more tarmac, right, you start seeing things. Oh, you start seeing gaps that are not there. And Danny Rick, that is his explanation for the second one, is that once he holds his hands up, that both did he not with Lando?
Yeah, because
right,
Lando locked up.
He went off fully, so it gets a penalty. And then as he came back on, it was the same as Seb. He should have been deemed out of control, so he knew he'd get a penalty for that.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about that, and 1 millisecond later, he's on the back of Kimi Räikkönen, unless you watch Channel 4 and it's Kimi Räikkönen.
Really? I did see that.
You
bit.
did hear about
Yes,
Kimi
I did.
Räikkönen. Yes, well, I don't know what Ben was on last week, but he
probably fell asleep.
He shouldn't do it while he's commentating. Right? No, I don't. Keep off the coffee, Ben. Yeah. Whatever it was, coffee.
Well,
definitely coffee.
We agreed
because I noticed that when he was doing the end of the show read through of the drivers and how they've done, right? He didn't actually say Carlos Sainz. It was something like Cardiff or Carlisle or something like that. Sainz.
I don't blame Ben.
Cardos, I think it came out as Cardos Sainz. And during the him and DC had this thing during the race of the fact that DC joked, I was looking for the other driver, this new driver, Kimi Räikkönen.
Well, I've done that before, as you've come up on it, but French Grand Prix was incredibly boring, so I'm not surprised.
So that's why you've got to spice it up with a few of these things. And you asked me about Vettel in the previous Canadian race.
Yes.
Doing similar to what I've just told you Ricardo did.
Yeah, because it's 2 races.
With Lando,
yeah.
right? That should have been one penalty, just 5 passes. Then he'd still been points, and he'd felt okay.
Yeah.
But like Seb, he feels unfairly treated because of the fact that for one move, because it was one flowing move, he got 2 penalties.
Yeah.
Now, he actually broke 3 rules, so I didn't give him 3, right? But, because they thought, we're giving him 2, we can't give him 3. Well, they should have only given him 1 in the first place.
Yeah, because it dropped him, that 10 seconds dropped him 7th to 11th.
Yeah, and out of the points.
Yeah.
Right? Which made it a bad weekend for both him and his team.
And Räikkönen, who actually profited from all of that because Lando went off as a result.
No, I didn't.
Räikkönen's gone up as well. As
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah,
Raikkonen,
it was.
he's sounding Indian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do an impression of Kimi.
It was
It's
Raikkonen.
better when we talk about Kimi and you know, I'd have a McDonald's.
Yes, yeah, that was a few
Kimi
things,
with the
yeah.
drive-through.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want fries with that?
I can't remember how that
I don't know.
started. I, think
I
that
don't
was
know.
Years ago.
Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. I'll have fries with it.
The ice cream. I remember how
The
that
ice
started.
cream, yeah.
It was the red flag period.
He had,
about
Fred, he
8
had
years
an
ago.
ice cream,
Yeah.
and when he turned the corner, it dropped onto his lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really, but true.
No, but actually,
but another boring race that we put a bit of comedy into
yeah.
it.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that time it actually happened and a mechanic left a cell phone in the car? So it was obviously America, but it was a mobile phone that he left in the car of Raikkonen.
You mean Fuccini? No, he hid his own mobile phone in the
Oh
car.
yes.
Yeah, but
Yes.
there's you should give people. But when they're young like that, you've got to give them a second chance.
Yeah. And
Fuccini is doing brilliantly in IndyCar.
Yeah. He's
grown up
Yes, exactly what I
a
was gonna
lot.
say.
And if he could only get Colton Herta to grow up as well, and your mum says if he could visit someone like Rebecca and get his hair cut.
Yes. Yeah, that's free promotion for you. But yeah, this is a question I've been thinking of since we read that Ricciardo got the penalty because it was after the race. Would we have been talking about this penalty with Ricciardo if it wasn't for Vettel's in Canada? Because Vettel's penalty in Canada for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think
threw
we would.
everything up.
I think we would because they were both unjust. But you see, also,
Yeah.
Ricciardo is a name, right? Vettel is a name, right?
Yeah.
Lewis is a name. Valtteri is a name, right? And as other people pointed out, other people in the last races, including the race last Sunday, got and it's not talked about.
No.
Right, because there's one. Go on, Lane. Talk about the other penalty that in the last race.
Oh yes.
Perez,
Yes, Perez's penalty.
big name
at the
in
start of the race.
Mexico. They're up in arms in Mexico over it.
They are.
Right, you're told by the
start of the race,
stewards in the drivers' meeting. Right, if you go off, you've got to go round that bollard.
Yeah, at the start.
So he does. Right.
But unfortunately, because there was a collision in front of him and a bit of backing up, he came in front one car ahead from where he actually went off.
Yeah, but is that his fault?
No, it's not his fault.
Right, he did exactly as he was told and still got the penalty.
It's that's what
It's not as if he went off on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it was a racing incident that led him to go off in the first place, and he went round the bollard and came out in front because of what the others had done, not because of what he'd done, and he gets a penalty.
Yeah.
No, thank you. See, I disagree with it. I'm getting to be a rebel.
He's actually quoted as saying, "I think what they did." Was
In the words of
wrong
Lewis
because I took the
Hamilton,
rules."
England.
Is it 3? Oh no, it's 2 now.
No, it's still 2, but England. That's it. Don't you remember Lewis?
Yes,
Lewis,
yeah,
because
in
the
the World
football
Cup,
was on
yeah.
last year.
British Grand Prix.
On the British Grand Prix. Let's hope he's on the podium
Ooh.
again this year.
I still
And in
remember
the middle
he was,
bit.
He was shaking, wasn't he, at the end of that pole lap? And
Yeah.
he said he was because he was missing the first 20 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
I remember that because I was in here actually commentating on it, and you had to go upstairs to watch it.
Which is surprising because Nico was always the one that was mad on football.
Rosberg, yeah.
Yeah, but Lewis is anything England. That's the thing. Anything England. He'll probably be cheering on the Lionesses,
Probably.
who are still 2-0 up against Norway in the quarterfinal. It's
Can you-
half time.
How can you tell it was a dull race in France that we've been distracted by so much because we've literally got to fill another half hour of the podcast?
Well, Ricciardo did his best to spice it up.
He quoted himself saying that at least I was entertaining. He swore a lot on Dutch television. Unfortunately, we can't. But
Everybody swears on Dutch television.
because you're allowed, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Australian television, well, not supposed to, but boy, do we get there.
Yeah.
Hello, Australia.
I was just looking to see what else we could say.
If you're Mark Webber fans, hello, Tasmania.
Mark Webber, that reminds me. Mark Webber will be covering 2 more races for Channel 4 this year. As DC
Tasmanian people always talk very, very high and very fast. You know, everyone knows, it's all,
Do we know?
I don't know.
Just wondering what you're on about there.
I'm talking about
yeah.
Webb.
Webber, yeah.
Webber's
Mark was there, wasn't he?
typical. Webber is a typical Tasmanian. He talks very high.
You've reminded me of something that I want you to bring in.
Here it's Sam. Do you know what's it?
Yeah.
What's the time? It's 10 to 9 here.
That
so
what I got it,
it's 10 to 8 in the morning in Sydney. On ABC Sydney, they'll be just waking up, and everybody who's on their way to work, hello. And also, if you're listening to Sunshine Radio here in Sydney, Sydney's own Sunshine Radio, which is called
I don't know. Wake up.
Smooth.
Smooth. Oh, of course it's smooth. Yeah.
The Sunshine Radio like you get in Ireland. It's exactly the same in Sydney, and it's called Smooth FM.
Yes.
Smooth FM. And if you go on your radio line or some equivalent,
Yes.
right, you listen to Smooth FM in Sydney. It's quite relaxing, actually.
Yes. I know you listen to it a lot as well.
Great adverts, Woolworths.
Oh God, we don't have that anymore, do we, in the UK?
No, we don't have CNA, but half of Europe does.
Yes. I want you to bring up Bobby and Bobby. There we go.
Bobby? We're not watching EastEnders?
No, I know, that's why. I was confused there. It's because we're watching the football. Billy Munger. Because his interview skills was brilliant, and I know you've seen it.
Have you now seen Billy's interview?
I have now
with
seen
Seb?
Billy's interviews with Sebastian. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the skylark looking over and being jealous of 10, 15 minutes, which was cut into 6 or 7.
Amazing interview
with Seb. Yeah,
and it's if Channel
Britta kept out the way.
Yes, yeah, and Channel 4 said in their podcast
the only thing you saw of Britta was her arm with the
dictaphone.
dictaphone.
Yeah. Channel 4 said on their podcast that this might be their last year broadcasting because there's nothing in place. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sky are looking over their shoulder to
Channel
bring
4
Billy
say
on.
that every year.
Yeah, we got told last year that.
It fulfils the terrestrial rights.
He'll still be there. British
Sky are not stupid. They haven't got a terrestrial channel of their own that people watch.
So they've all got to stay. They've all
You've got to
keep
pick your own channel.
It's a quest to do so, though.
Oh,
Thank you.
Quest is Eurosport.
Is it? Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
Pick is
Pick's the Sky
pick.
one.
You've got to pick.
Oh,
It's Channel 5 actually.
Channel 5 have got loads.
When they had Formula E, used to put it on Spike.
I know a lot of people. No,
people didn't realise what Spike was, but it is part of Channel 5.
I'm not one to disagree with them, but I did not like their coverage on Spike because it wasn't in HD. And when I was commentating, I didn't have a screen that was.
Well, Quest got their
Look at
HD
that.
because they got the football rights. Anyway, get back to the Formula One.
Yeah, right. We've nearly done it. We've nearly blagged our way through what was the terrible Grand Prix, and I have got questions from everybody, and I've been reading them.
Well,
all.
it is. You've got questions. Go on. What questions?
I've seen a few people who have asked me these questions as well, and I've
ask
put
me
them
then,
down.
then.
I think that's what I'm going to do. First question was: is Formula One damaged by what Bernie did to the circuit at Paul Ricard? And because I don't think it is. Because
What, you mean the runoffs?
yes, and the fact that
No, my eyes are.
your eyes are, yeah. But is Formula One ruined by going to Paul Ricard?
Nobody
because
with
the fans can't get there.
nobody with that.
tracks,
What's that
that's-
thing where you go dizzy? Epilepsy.
Motion sickness, epilepsy, yeah.
And
I
motion
know.
sickness, right? I mean, even Martin Brundle, right? Who's had a few knocks to the head.
Yes.
Yeah, but less about his good works.
Yes.
Tanya, hello.
Yeah.
But actually, Tanya used to kick him mostly.
Yeah.
not-
always give him steal his interviews. But what we were going to say, So the runoffs.
The runoff.
Yes.
The runoffs.
start with those.
No, it's just a different. It's an experiment. It's a different type of thing, and it's more to do with the fact that you can actually change because you've got the tarmac all over the place and the different runoffs and things like that. Right. My son will give you the exact number.
137.
Yeah, there's 137 different variations of that track because of things. But it's Bernie. Bernie's not stupid.
No.
Bernie sees that circuit looks really modern now. And
Lot
how
better
long's
last
Bernie
year.
had it? 3-4 years?
3 years, yeah.
3 or 4 years, and now it's back on the Formula One calendar, and it looks modern. It looked tatty 5 years ago.
And it wasn't all that great last year as well, because we were all saying,
If only,
they've
France,
actually built commentary boxes.
one of the
this year.
best things about France is its road system.
Yeah.
Right? You can either pay to go on the motorways, or there's adequate dual carriageways and A roads and B, you know,
Yeah.
that you can go on, and that you don't have to pay for, unless you're in tours, which is tours obligataire, because you must actually pay to go through tours.
See?
I know, because I've tried not to and go round, and you use about 3 times as petrol doing so, but you know.
See? They went to France twice, didn't you? In the towing a caravan.
Yes, yeah.
We'll get onto that in a minute. But
Well, we used to. What we used to do is we used to.
Before I was here.
We used to just come to the school holidays and just go off until we had no money left.
Yeah. Oh, well, we did that when I was younger, and Megan as well. But before me as Megan, it was the other two.
Yeah.
And they did France.
Summer holidays are what you make it.
Yeah. We had some cracking ones. I mean, I still remember the fact that we missed Jensen's win. Because we were out in... where
we
were
were in Scarborough.
Scarborough. I knew it was Scarborough. Yeah.
On the way to Scarborough.
I still remember hearing on the radio that Jensen had won. And I was in the
Yeah,
front
he
with
was
you.
he was near Morrison's
Yeah.
in Scarborough. Anybody knows listening near Scarborough.
Yeah, and...
on the dual carriageway that went, but it was okay because when we got back, we just reversed the tape and watched it.
Yeah, we have not missed a Formula 1 Grand Prix.
No, because
in
we watched them
ages.
if we can't.
Yeah. I can't remember the last one. We missed... I think the last one we missed live was Wembley, 2013. Is that with Malaysia? Yeah, we missed Malaysia. I think that was a wake-up call. That multi-21. Missed that one. That was
We had
good.
the builders in once, and
God, yes.
and we were out of
Yeah.
the house. You could see the roof.
Yeah.
You could see the top of the roof.
But we still
from the
came
inside
back.
of the house, and we set up, and that was at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
No, Japan.
Japanese
So we
Grand
came. Me and you both woke up at about 6:30, half an hour before the start of the race, and the roads were empty. We had 5 live on the radio in case we missed the start, and we just got in about 10 minutes before the start. And 5
Not
minutes
bad
before we
considering
started.
it was in the next town.
Yeah, yeah. And
Luckily, the 2 towns are joined.
yes, and we were upstairs, weren't we? And you put the television on that white stand that used to be Grandma's.
Yeah.
And we just sat there. And the problem was, though, we had, because the whole house was being renovated, my room where the television was, all we had was the bed and a chair, and the floorboards were up, and we had to have all the equipment on, and we sort of, it was very echoey, and
Echoey.
it was 7 o'clock in the
Echoey.
morning.
Echoey.
I think there's a filter on there, you can do it.
Ba-ba-ba.
But what were we talking about?
Who
The Samba. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Samba.
but
Yeah.
who needs a filter?
Yeah, see, got your nice box. We took the caravan and towing that car to and from, and how much did you get it for?
What?
That's a great story.
The
Yeah.
car that took us to France?
Yeah, because you said that
With the
during the
caravan.
commentary. Yeah.
Yeah, £750 car. This is 20 odd years ago. £750 car, £300 caravan, and hook them up. Go over on the ferry to Le Havre. Drive down. Stay in Le Mans overnight at one of the campsites, and then drive down to the Fou-le-Loire Valley where you can get wine in them days for any red, white, or rosé for 30p in a plastic bottle that you'd now get water in. And then stay in a campsite at Royan.
Yeah.
It was our favourite. Royan was our favourite to go to, and with all the English, the Dutch. There's actually not that many English. Actually, it's mainly Dutch and Irish on that side.
Yeah.
And a few Germans. Right, the Dutch are mad.
Yeah.
Sport mad.
Well, they've got. Well,
And they'll
we
be
know
there
that,
this
don't we?
weekend in Orange.
Yeah, I've already seen them. They've already set the little stand up. And,
Well, at this very moment, right, at this very moment, Crofty and Simon are in the campsite with the Dutch getting drunk and having these big sausages in buns
oh no, I just know.
and that chicken stew that looks
yeah.
really anything. Anyway, go on.
Back to and you got that card to and from, back to England, to France, and then back to England again.
That £750 Cortina, we had 5 years
You don't know. You wouldn't have had it. What was the car when I was born?
when you was born.
Yeah, because I can't remember. It was a Ford. I know that.
Yeah, it was.
can't remember what it
Come
was.
on.
I can't remember.
Sierra Sapphire.
So there we go. Because we've had quite a few Fords, actually.
The thing about that Sapphire
If you
was,
Renaults.
I'm a taxi driver, and if people are renowned when they've had a drink to missing their own roads, and so you're driving along, tooting along, middle of the morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and you go, "Oh, that's my road," and instantly you turn. Now, most cars, you have to stop, right? But my Mondeo and my Sapphire and my Chevy,
Yep, the Chevy, yeah.
which is really Danny's Chevy because I hire it, right?
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Dan. Yeah, but they all have this turning circle.
Yep.
That's instant, right? And you can turn on a sixpence.
Yeah.
Just like the London cabs, they can.
Oh, God, their turning circles are massive.
Yeah, but brilliant. But if
We're just looking at yeah.
anyway, go on.
Right. Well, we're going to move on because I don't think we've got anything left to say about the weekend. I can't think of anything else that happened during the race that we could have talked about because nothing actually happened.
Oh yes, I can.
Well, you've watched it again. I haven't.
But even when I first watched it,
Oh well,
right?
you've got the data channel.
Do you know who do I think is a big head, and he's turning out that I'm wrong. He's not a big head. He's just a good driver. Comes from Bristol.
Oh, Lando.
Lando
Yeah.
had an excellent race in a McLaren.
Yeah. Oh God,
Well, Carlos did as well. But
I look. McLaren's caught me out at the start. I mean,
if you think only that last minute move by Ricciardo,
yeah.
otherwise Lando would have finished 6th or 7th.
Yeah. Well, Lando got the driver of the day as well, so nicely tied in. DHL fastest pit stop was Williams, 1.97 seconds. And Sebastian Vettel got the fastest lap for DHL at
Pity they can't have the fastest
1:32.740.
car.
No, I know. Williams are dreadful.
Well, Paddy's gone.
Yeah, I was about to say, Paddy Lowe has gone. He did leave, but now he's on.
But he's gone
sacks.
he's gone in embarrassment.
Yeah,
because
which is awful.
he must be embarrassed at
Yeah.
the state of that car.
It's awful, really, because even when we were at pre-season testing, it was a lovely car to look at, but the aero shot to pieces.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that
it's all gone. Yeah.
Lewis and Grosjean have gone on and on about the fact that the aero only has to be slightly different, and you
Yes.
drop from being one of the top midfield teams to being the one that get everyone laps. It happened a few years ago with Toro Rosso, right?
After they got stopped.
and McLaren,
Ooh.
right? And now it's happening to Williams, and the cars aren't that much different. And what Sebastian's going on about at the moment is the fact that, to what he said to Billy,
Yeah.
was about the fact that 20 years ago, right, we're talking about there's a second between drivers. You've got to make up a second there, and there was sometimes like a 5 second gap in the way they're lapping, right? That doesn't often happen nowadays. There's top to bottom on a normal racetrack when there's nothing wrong with any of the cars, right? Top to bottom within
8-9 seconds.
Eight-
Usually.
eight-
Yeah, if it's really bad, but 3.
No,
Three?
I mean per lap.
Oh, 3 then. I thought you
About
meant in the
3
race.
seconds.
Yeah,
3
laps.
seconds from top to bottom, and the midfield lot, it's tenths of seconds.
Yeah, because the Racing Point
Between them.
Yeah, Racing Point, Renault, Alfa Toro Rosso, they and include Haas and McLaren, but they are so close in the constructors' championship because Mercedes are already the champions. If they get more 1-2s, they'll be champions van Belgium. So that's pretty much all gone. Hamilton's way away in the championship now. He's 71 points ahead of Vettel, and he's about 40 odd ahead of Bottas. So they're gone. But it's the midfield battle that is going to be the one to watch. And you're
I'm
right.
glad Valtteri's a bit stronger this year because Lewis needs someone to battle with.
Unfortunately, just not the Ferraris this year. Although Leclerc nearly had him.
Well, they were described as being rockets on the straight today.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
They had the power.
But they're not in the corners.
Yeah, Mercedes got the car hooked up in every circuit. Ferrari are good at some circuits, but as you said, they're hooked up on the straights.
And the only difference is that the Mercedes knows because not because of a mechanical way. It is fixed. It doesn't move.
Yeah.
Right, but it does move. Right, it moves
you
closer
mentioned
to the
it,
ground.
yeah.
Because when you put the vehicle on full lock, right, it drops on its own pinion, right, a couple of millimeters to hug the ground in the corners more. Perfectly legal. So if they're doing it, why aren't everyone else?
And on
Right?
Red Bull tried.
Mercedes is so open about it that they described it on TV.
It's impossible.
In Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just Mercedes' dominance is now longer than any other team's dominance in Formula One history. Longer than Ferrari. I mean, 7 years, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's because they've got German ingenuity, and British development, right?
Of,
a mixture of the two, right? That means world class engines going in world class aero with world class drivers equals dominance.
Bernie Eccleston actually came up with a good idea, and MotoGP do it, to have a drivers' championship, a teams' championship, and then a constructors' championship. So the teams' championship would only be for the teams, but the constructors would be Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault, and Honda, like they have in MotoGP. That would become the constructors.
An engine champion.
And they'll be the constructors.
Engine suppliers.
Yeah, and that way all the teams who supply all the engines points are combined.
Yeah, but
that spices it up.
Then you get in IndyCar. You have.
Honda
Let's have a look at the Chevy listings for the day. Who's top Chevy today and things like that. Who's top Honda today? Because it's only Chevy and Honda in IndyCar.
At the moment, yeah.
Right.
Aren't BMW going? I'm not too sure.
There is only Chevy and Honda.
Yeah, I know this year.
The NBC go on and on about who's top. What does it matter?
Yeah.
Right.
They're spec cars. So,
the order of the race matters, not who's top Chevy, who's top Honda, and if you start giving things away, why don't we just have top rookie like they do in British touring cars?
Yeah, and success.
The Shears Trophy
yeah.
in touring cars, top rookie, right? And then you can
have as many championships.
Then you can argue who's going to be a rookie.
Yeah, because who classifies does Kubica classify as a rookie?
No,
but he's
raced before.
Yeah, but it's his first race in this new era.
Hartley wouldn't either.
Hartley wouldn't know if he comes back. But yeah, anyway, we're going to give him the wrap up because
otherwise,
because
Daniel Kvyat would have been able to be a rookie 3 times up to now.
Yeah, and there's 2 points.
Yeah, hang on. Do you think they're going to sack Gasly?
Yes. And I hate to say that, but yes. Considering the fact that Verstappen was 4th and Gasly was 10th, and he got lapped.
Yeah, the car's too complicated for him.
Yeah.
He needs to. There was a few years ago, when who got injured in Ferrari, and they had to start replacing them.
Was it Massa who got injured?
I think it was Massa when he got hit on the head.
Yes, and Badoa and Fisichella.
And but they went through about 3 of their reserve drivers.
Yeah.
And none of them could operate the car.
No. Because
of the fact that the cars are so complicated. And I think that's what's wrong with Gasly. I think it's too complicated for him. Right?
Yeah.
And I do. I think that Adrian Newey has asked him to change his driving style, and so has Christian.
It's hard
to adapt.
Yeah.
And if he wants to stay in that team, he's got to do what they say and adapt his driving style to them. Right? He's a natural. GP3.
Oh,
GP2.
Yeah.
He was excellent. So we know he can do it. Oh, wow.
Is it 3? It's 3.
It's 3.
Not bad.
It's 3. The girls have scored again. 56 minutes, the 3, right?
And we are just coming up. We've done 36 of our 45, so hey, we're doing it. 2 more points before we get on to the driver ratings and the classifications. 1, Is that burnt? As I already
Beckham's
mentioned.
daughter's there.
Is it? Oh, look. I already mentioned.
Because, 7 years old and she's a icon on social media.
Is it Beckham 7 again? Is she wearing that?
I don't
shirt?
know.
I thought she should be.
Don't you think
She
that's
should
putting
be.
too much pressure on the poor little kid?
Oh yeah.
It's already ruined.
Well, her mother's not exactly doing the Spice Girls thing at the moment, is she? But unfortunately, I did actually
the race
see
is on to get out of the bathroom.
Christian Horner has actually had to go to every
do you
single
think you
one.
are?
We can't do that, otherwise we get copyright. But yeah, Christian Horner has had to go to every Spice Girl concert so far, but he hasn't gone to the one this weekend or last weekend because he's in Austria. So he's got away with that one. Because I know after a while he did jokingly say that they get repetitive after a while. But there is a nice scene of them in the back of the taxi, and he's there in a Spice Girls outfit with the glasses as well. Big sparkly glasses like Elton John. So that's nice.
What he does in his bedroom is his own affair.
Right, I can't remember what the point was. Yeah, back to Pierre Gasly quickly. Dr. Helmut Marko has said that it wouldn't be two-faced of them, and it's the actual word, to bring Kvyat back to the main Red Bull team, even though he got sacked. Because it's just swap
because
around.
Dr. Helmut always, he thinks, and in this terms, that Red Bull drivers are part of a team, and they can be placed in any. Hartley has been lent out or whatever.
Yeah, he's gone to WEC. Toyota.
Yeah, and if you're sponsored by Red Bull, the Red Bull Motorsport organisation,
Marquez is, yeah.
right? They will put you where they think they want you, right? And moving them up and down, they treat it more like a football team where you're out of favour 1 week, or one season you're out of favour, the next season you've worked hard and you can come back in.
Yeah, and
Well, isn't that how it should be?
yeah, because it does work, but
They're not going to give up on Gasly.
no, they're just putting back
Right,
into Toro Rosso.
They'll just swap him with Toro Rosso.
Yeah,
And he'll go back to Toro Rosso, and they just think Sainz would have been the better one.
yeah, because they let Sainz go to they let him go from Toro Rosso to go to Renault. Then Renault let him go, and he's been snapped up by McLaren. So it wasn't a very smart move there. I think
Sainz is loving his time in England.
Oh yeah, and he's loving
Woking,
McLaren.
the
Yeah.
Italian restaurant in Woking.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Many other Italian restaurants are available, but only one in Woking.
Yeah, just 2 minutes away from the factory as well. There was one more point I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember.
Well, you're supposed to be
it.
asking me these questions people have asked you about.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that was it. Second question: is Formula One too complicated for the average viewer?
No.
No, because I don't think it isn't.
No, that would be saying that us viewers are thick and we're not.
Yeah, because it's quite easy
as Ted
yeah.
will tell you that some of his tweets that
Yes, Ted's tweets. Yeah.
Ted's
Oh,
tweets.
sorry, me. Yeah, he's as I put because I told him that there's actually more double-barrel names because he couldn't think of any. So I said Sarah Jane.
Yeah, well, he should get out and about a bit more. There's loads of people with double barrel names.
He knows a few. Heinz Harold.
Harold Frenson.
Yeah, that's just popped into my head. Why didn't you think of Heinz Harold Frenson?
Ted's dead.
One Pablo Montoya. That was
Ted's
one
got his
Pablo.
own double barrel name. He's
Yes.
got his own name, and his
Yes.
own name, and the one he uses on telly.
Yeah, I can't remember his own name. Simon knows it, so I'll get back to that on Thursday. But
His grandmother was called Kravitz.
yeah, and he's a relative of Lenny as well. That's what everybody.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a relative.
Is it
of
Sebastian
Lenny.
who was confused?
Sebastian
by that?
said it as a joke, and then was a bit taken aback that
It was true,
actually
yeah.
it's true. Yes, the American singer and that
Same grandmother, isn't it? Yeah.
same grandmother who
The
died last year.
The last question.
Who died
I'll
last
bring-
sadly.
Yes, yeah. The
Last
last
year.
question I'm going to bring up is the fact that they've got this system in Formula One with the results at the end of the race, but then we have to wait hours for the actual results. People are calling, shouldn't the
provisional result of the thing. So it's all,
provisional result
the
should be
provisional
classic,
result
yeah.
and the thing
Yeah.
is something done in all motorsport.
Yeah, But some people are saying, can't the provisional results be the main results? Like, that's it. If you're going to analyse it during the race.
No.
But there's more
no.
things.
Should be a time limit.
Yeah.
It should be a time limit. Yeah, it shouldn't be days or out like that. It should be before they all leave the circuit.
Yeah, because we've had to go from Canada to France
and
before we find out results.
There is a lot of times where teams have had to study data to produce an objection.
Yeah.
And that can take time. And
96 hours, as we said earlier on in the podcast.
Yeah, well, that's too long, but it's...
Yeah, it's 4 days, yeah.
It should be... They should have an hour and a half after the race to lodge an objection to the provisional result. They do that in some motorsport.
Indy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you got an hour and a half to lodge the complaint, and that'd work perfectly because some of them, like Formula 2,
Yeah.
where you go away from the main race,
and the results changed,
and the whole podium's changed
that's
by
happened.
the sprint race the next morning.
Ragunathan being
Ragunathan was the
penalised.
latest to miss.
And banned. He's not in Austria.
Yeah, he not only lost his podium, he lost his next race.
Yeah.
And it's a one race ban, but there are 2 races in a weekend,
So that's
you
it
can't
done,
qualify for the second race. So that 1 race ban becomes a 2 race ban.
Yeah, so it's very clever.
It's not. It's
odd. Yeah. That's what they need to
it's
change.
Stupid.
Yeah.
It's not. It's stupid. Right? What they should allow him to qualify and race in the second race.
Yeah.
You don't get a 1 match ban in football and then say that you missed 2 or 3 matches.
Because that's the fact. He wasn't in contention for anything, but it's ruined his championship because of the points.
It's like in football. Right? If you get sent off in football, you don't actually miss a midweek match.
Yeah, it's just
if you get sent off or get 2 yellow cards in football, it has to be a match 7 days ahead.
Yeah.
Right? So,
It's all good.
Anyway, go on.
Right, that's it for the questions. We've now got to get on to the driver ratings. We've done the time we needed to do, so well done, both of us. Hello, Mum. You're here as well. Do you want to say hello? No? That's how annoying we've got that we've actually brought the entire house to a standstill. Megan's not with us this weekend, so once again, Dad, you'll be doing the driver ratings. You know how it works. 1 is for poor, 5 is for the great weekend. And it's going to be quite mixed, actually, because of the Grand Prix.
Oh, quick as possible, because...
Yes, because we're near the end of the match. We've been talking that long.
64 minutes gone, it's England 3, Norway 0.
No, okay, still 3.
No, she caught it.
I thought that would be good. Right, Hamilton, victorious, 5th time of the year, 8th race running for Mercedes. They've dominated it and having their perfect season. So Hamilton, your rating?
How can you criticise Lewis for what he did?
Exactly.
5.
Yeah. Valtteri Bottas is 2nd. He's back to Mercedes' 1-2. It's his 7th podium in the year. Only missed out on a podium back in Canada, which is impressive. But your rating for Bottas?
5.
Yeah.
Because he tried. He wasn't as good as Lewis, but he tried.
Charles Leclerc in 3rd place as well. He was the best Ferrari of the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
for once England's back 4 were beaten and so was the goalkeeper. But one of the girls went onto the line and kicked the ball off the line. That was great.
It's fantastic.
Norway's only chance up to now of scoring.
It's fantastic that women's football is now on the main channel as well.
Yeah.
Where were we? Yeah, Leclerc 3rd for Ferrari, best Ferrari of the weekend. And
it is Leclerc.
Was closing him down. He knows that joke. And he was closing Bottas down at the line.
I know, he knows the supermarket joke as well.
Does he?
Leclerc is a famous supermarket. It's the Tesco's of France.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. There you go. I've never been to France.
Yeah.
I've only been to Spain.
That was a mammoth joke, another supermarket joke from France.
I'm going to get a lot of these during the commentary this
Yes.
weekend.
For those of you who don't know, Mammoth is another supermarket in France.
Leclerc's rating?
Leclerc, 4. Let down by his team.
Yes. Max Verstappen, 4th for Red Bull.
5. It's the game let down by his team. But you know, did he put a foot wrong? No.
It's Vettel, poor qualifying, 7th. Not a great race. He's 5th.
3.
Yeah. Carlos Sainz in 6th. These two, the McLarens got me at the start. They very quick lights out, but they were launched brilliantly. But Sainz finished 6th.
So 5 for Sainz.
Yeah.
5 star
for 5-star for science. Yes, because he's at the restaurant. Yes, is that it? Yes, he's laughing. That's it for the people on the lead lap. Believe it or not, everybody else was lapped from seventh below. So Kimi Raikkonen was seventh for Alpha. Your rating for Kimi?
3.
Nico Hulkenberg in 8th place as well. Was
Steady
promoted
race
up.
for Nico. Like,
Yeah.
you know, one of his better races. You know, actually putting a foot wrong. He didn't put many foot
Yeah.
wrong, but he's got a long way to go with that car. Right, so we'll give him 4.
Lando Norris, 9th. Demon start, demon qualifying, but the ending, as we've talked about.
Right, Lando Norris in a McLaren. Right, the ending was wrong, but but then again, that happened to Raikkonen with his tyres going a few years ago. Right, but excellent drive. Mark out of 5, 9.
9, wow. That's more. Wow, that's the first time that's happened. And Pierre Gasly rounds out the top 10 with the only point as well, but he did finish further down than he's got the point. So you're waiting for Gasly?
Gasly, 3.
Yeah.
2.
11th place for Danny Ricciardo, the Honey Badger, in 11th as well.
4.
Yeah.
4 because he gave us the only bit of.
The only entertainer.
I'll tell you what. I don't know what has happened to the England defence, but Norway have just come alive and they're just going for it. Just got to keep calm, girls.
It's available on the BBC iPlayer.
Well, that's the ball to play. That's the ball. Come on, bring it inside. Inside it, not outside. Inside. Over the top.
High.
Yeah. Reed, that was. Yes, the England goalkeeper's smiling because she knows as well as I do. Right, once she cut inside, you should have slid the ball, not take a shot.
Oof.
Slid the ball over. But that was from a few seconds ago, when the England goalkeeper made the save, and then they managed to clear it. They cleared it off the line, things like that.
It's one of these races, isn't it? Where were we? Yeah.
If that had been a certain other Manchester City player who just cut in like that, he would have steadied it. No.
Sterling. That's it.
Sterling, yeah. Sterling would have flicked it round like she'd, cut inside, flicked it round, flicked it up a little bit, and then volleyed it.
Back to the rating. Sergio Perez in 12th.
But in her case, she knows that she couldn't do that, so she should have done the natural thing. Always, if you're playing football, do the natural thing. Always do the natural thing, boy. I'm talking to you, boy. This is Brian here from above. Brian Clough.
Oh, there we go. We've got him standing on the Brian Clough impressions.
All right, sunshine.
We're going to be here for a while now. 12th for Sergio Perez in the Racing Point. What are your rating for Perez? Because you've watched the race again.
Well, my ratings for Sergio Perez. Are you listening?
I'm looking down at the
It's 3.
3, yes. Sergio, Lance Stroll.
Give me back my microphone, Brian.
Yes, there are 2 mics, which is interesting because
there's a ghost in my house because Brian's dead.
I forgot he is. Yeah. 13th for Lance Stroll as well. Not a great weekend for Lance. Eliminated for the 11th time in qualifying 1. 12th time in qualifying 1. Not good at all. Your rating?
2.
Where next?
Although I think he's getting a bit more mature.
Yes, yeah. Shame he's not quick enough. 14th for Danny Kvyat in the Toro Rosso.
2.
Alexander Albon 15th.
4.
Yeah. Antonio Giovinazzi in 16th as well.
Right. Tony.
Yes.
Tony Giovinazzi. Right.
Ooh,
Tony Giovinazzi. The thing about his race was that at times he was doing really well. Then at other times, he seems to have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
And so we'll give him 3 for the benefit of the doubt.
Magnussen.
Benefit of the doubt. Yeah, benefit of the doubt.
Kevin Magnussen finished 17th overall for Haas. A terrible weekend for Haas as well. They were 17th and out.
See, you can't read these. Right? You can't just write these things.
Yeah.
Right. We're now on to Kevin Magnussen, and that's why we mentioned the other one fell asleep.
Yes.
Because Kevin, in the press conference today, was asked the question and goes, What? I wasn't listening.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Because he doesn't concentrate.
So, Magnussen rating?
He Haas have got problems. They know they've got problems. They're working on them.
They dubbed it as their
Right.
worst weekend.
Both of their drivers are still as enthusiastic as ever. Worst weekend for them too.
Williams is now. So Robert Kubica, for the first time this year, finished ahead of George Russell. So he was 18th for Robert.
The team gets none
Yeah, as usual. Yeah.
because they've made big mistakes and they've got to pull the socks up. The drivers are doing their best. George is doing better than Robert. Solid race from George.
Yeah.
Right, in a disaster of a car. Right. It was overtaken by 3 GP2 cars going to.
They were 2 laps down.
Yeah.
Well, Rag Gunnarson was only a second faster than the Formula 3 pole sitter.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Yeah, we've had this
Yeah.
GP2 cars for GP2 people.
Yeah, that was a long time.
Alonso.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kubica's rating.
Kubica's rating. We'll give them both 2
Okay, that covers George Russell in 19th as well. And
because Georgie Russell's a Brit, so
Yeah.
we like to support the Brits. We would like to give it, but they're both doing their best in a rubbish car.
And the only driver
Claire should.
Yeah.
Claire knows it.
Yeah, and they've lost so many key
It's
people.
as clear as you could make it.
I was wondering when he
It's
was going to use
so
that one.
clear to me
Yes,
that
well,
Claire knows what she needs to do.
with Paddy
Let
gone.
me make it clear.
Well, with Paddy gone, now that Paddy's gone, she can see clearly now that Paddy's gone.
And yes,
I was
we
trying
know
to get that one in.
we know that they used to blame the engines at McLaren, but they can't at Williams because until last week they had Paddy power.
Oh, that was a good one. I've got a feeling that's not going to be the last time we're going to hear it. It's just
It's Paddy power.
you're in the race commentary as well. I don't know if you're in practice. I don't know.
Hello, welcome to Paddy power.
We've never had you in a practice session. That'd be quite fun to do.
Hello.
And the only driver to be out of the race was Romain Grosjean, who retired the car.
Hello, everyone. Yes, what?
Oh, hello, James.
No, James is like this.
Grosjean, out of the race,
yes.
but we've got to give him a rating.
Oh, my dear boy.
The only driver to be out.
Grosjean. Well, he's got this Haas problem. So it has to be...
You're getting as bad as Will Buxton with the
It
hashtag.
has to be 2.
Right, okay, thank you.
Copyright again.
No, we're fine with that because you said Haas. Right, that's it. We've finished the worst Grand Prix in our broadcasting.
And I
year.
made it more exciting than they did.
Well, we've got to 90 minutes of the podcast and we've got around about 60 seconds to wrap up and predict Austria, which is this weekend. So, Austria, Dad. You're in it again with Megan.
Again, Austria is now you've got to remember also in recent years, right? Austria has been a bit of a turkey for Mercedes.
Yeah.
For at least one of the cars, right? Last year's race,
Both of them retired?
Both of them retired, right? But I think Mercedes learned from their mistakes, and it's theirs to lose yet again.
Yeah, it is their bogey circuit, this one. We thought Singapore was, but Austria has turned out to be
Crofty
their
always
bogey
comes
circuit.
up with these great things, great
I saw
little
it,
things, and he reckons that that first hill, that just 20 yards short of the highest mountain in things. But what Crofty doesn't grasp is that the mountain's like that in gradient, and the hill isn't.
And also...
But we know his analogy, yeah.
But we also, I did see that, but if Crofty, because you can't see out the commentary box window as much in Austria.
Now he's surrounded by Dutch people at the moment on a campsite.
But if Crofty just looks up from his commentary box window, he'd realise that just in the distance, a bit higher than Turn 1, is the Styrian Mountains that are taller than the circuit. We are in the middle of
If
nowhere.
only you could have remembered these things in geography.
I know. Well, hang on a minute. I don't do geography.
We've got an England player on the floor.
Oh dear. But, well,
And
yeah.
their goalkeeper just collided with her.
Ouch. Replay.
Yes, they have a replay. The ball
Frozen.
knocked out chipped in.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
nasty.
Right, it's that goalkeeper. He's clearly got eyes on the ball and collides with our player and comes down. Racing incident,
Yeah.
footballing incident.
Oh, 5-second penalty and into the sin bin. Right.
But you see, I will say the goalkeeper's
Yeah.
gone down, and I don't think she's really hurt. I think she thinks, "Oh, I could get booked or sent off for this." So I'm just going to pretend I'm hurt as well because she's up and about now. Whereas our lass, she's
He's
going.
still down, yeah.
Where are my
Right.
chips, please?
Weather prediction for this weekend. We've got a dry qualifying and a dry race, but the rain cloud that was just above the circuit on Thursday absolutely downpoured, so don't look good for that.
Well, as you can see, we have Hysteria Mountains in the distance.
Yes.
And where you've got a mountain area,
Yeah, so it's unpredictable.
it's unpredictable because mountainous areas are where the heavy rain clouds, when they need to rise above the mountain, have to let off a bit of water.
So, prediction for Austria then. What are we going to see? For me, I think we're going to see Red Bull be strong. Ferrari, again, struggle.
I was going to say that I think Seb will be motivated for there.
Yeah, because it's Red Bull.
I honestly
well,
do.
too.
Yeah.
Right, well, Megan rejoins us for the podcast in
But I think
Austria.
Lewis will win.
Lewis will win, yeah.
I hope Lewis will win.
Well, he's on a bit of a form here. 4 in a row, 5 this, 6 this. Is it 4 in a row?
Has he ever done 5 in a row?
Do you know, I think he has, although I will
Seb
have to check
has.
my notes. Seb's done 9 in a row, so I'll
yeah.
have to check my notes on Lewis, but I don't think he's ever done 5 in a row.
But he's certainly in a happy place.
Yeah. And as well, he's got the family down this weekend as well. So watch that. Right, coverage details. We'll be back on Thursday with the preview. That will be airing on Friday morning due to the fact that we're going to get the F1 2019 game up and running for that. So we'll get that out on Friday morning. As well as the fact that the Friday practice review will be on, the Saturday practice review, the Sunday race preview, and then we'll be back all again on Wednesday for the Austrian podcast. And then we've got a few days until we have to go back for Silverstone in the British Grand Prix, which is going to include some bumper coverage of special programmes, which should be absolutely fun. And all three of us will be doing the podcast for that one. How that's going to work, I've got no idea. But now we've got 2 mics. I don't know, these two can share.
And a great result for KR in the derby.
Oh, yeah.
It's 16-10 and there's not long to go. So at the moment, KR, who are at the bottom of the Super League.
Yes, in the rugby.
Because if you don't know, we're quite close to Hull.
We've got 20 seconds, so wrap up from you.
It's a wrap up from me.
Okay. Right, we'll be back at the Austrian Grand Prix. But Lewis Hamilton once again dominates one of the most boring French Grand Prix in living memory. It wasn't a great race. We all nearly fell asleep. In fact, for several points of the race, I looked over and you had your eyes shut. But it was an interesting race. It was an interesting weekend as well. And with 2 seconds left, we'll see you at the next race in Austria tomorrow. And it's a conversion in hell. Right.
Yeah, another 2 points to KR. It's KR 18, FC 10.
And that's where we'll leave it.
The Robins are doing it over the early birds.
Should we sign off like the two runners?
It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night.
Good night.